General Hospital will reveal Brooke Lynn struggled to keep her composure as Lulu pressed her for answers, but the weight of the truth became unbearable. It all began when Lulu stumbled upon documents related to a secret adoption handled by Martin years ago. Suspicion gnawed at her, and she confronted Brooke Lynn, demanding to know the full story. The accusations left Brooke Lynn feeling cornered, especially knowing that Dante was completely unaware of the situation. Guilt, anxiety, and anger swirled within her, making it impossible to keep the secret hidden any longer. Meanwhile, Portia received distressing news from Rick Lansing. Memories of the past resurfaced, reminding her of the complicated history she shared with Rick and the lasting impact he had on her family. Despite bracing herself for the worst, Portia couldn't hide her growing concerns about how this revelation would affect Curtis, Trina, and their future. She knew that facing Rick was never easy, and this time would be no different. Elsewhere, Anna and Jason faced a difficult task in guiding Charlotte Cassadine. After recent turmoil, Charlotte was left adrift, struggling to trust those around her. Anna recognized that Charlotte needed strong leadership but also compassion. Jason, on the other hand, took a different approach, quiet yet decisive, offering Charlotte a sense of security through action rather than words. However, the wounds of the past still lingered, and it remained uncertain whether Charlotte was truly ready to open up. Brooke Lynn's fury, Portia's devastating news, and Anna and Jason's mission to help Charlotte promise an intense week ahead, filled with secrets that could change lives forever. Lulu was relentless in her pursuit of the truth, determined to make Brooke Lynn admit everything to Dante. She knew that if Brooke Lynn continued to keep secrets, the situation would only spiral further out of control. However, Brooke Lynn quickly realized that Lulu had uncovered her information through illegal means, by breaking into Martin's office. This discovery shifted the power dynamic entirely. Brooke Lynn now had leverage over Lulu, and she wasted no time in reminding her of the consequences. If Lulu insisted on pushing forward, Brooke Lynn could easily report her break-in to the authorities. A single call to Martin, and Lulu could be facing serious legal trouble. Yet, beneath the tension and threats, there was an undeniable truth: Lulu's desperation was not rooted in malice. She was not just prying into Brooke Lynn's life out of spite. Her actions were driven by something much deeper, an aching need to uncover the truth about the child she had lost. This was the real reason she had risked everything by breaking into Martin's office. The mere possibility that she had a missing child somewhere out there had consumed her every thought. And now, with the evidence she had found, she believed more than ever that Brooke Lynn was hiding something monumental. Brooke Lynn, meanwhile, was trapped. No matter which way she turned, she was backed into a corner. If she continued to keep silent, she would only make things worse. If she confessed on her own terms, she might have a small chance at controlling the fallout. But if she hesitated even a second longer, Lulu would not hesitate to go straight to Dante and reveal everything herself. There was no winning in this situation, and she knew it. The question was no longer whether the truth would come out, it was how, and when. After her confrontation with Brooke Lynn, Lulu wasted no time in seeking out Dante. She had spent too long being kept in the dark, and she was done waiting for answers to come to her. When she finally found him, she hesitated for only a moment before laying everything out. What she revealed to him was nothing short of life-changing. Dante, who had spent so much time believing he had a clear path forward with Brooke Lynn, was suddenly thrown into chaos. The idea that he had another child out there, one that had been kept from him, was more than he could immediately process. His emotions clashed violently within him. Shock. Betrayal. Pain. Just days ago, he had spoken openly about how deeply committed he was to Brooke Lynn, how much he had trusted in their future together. Now, that trust was shattered. A part of him wanted to demand answers from Brooke Lynn, to force her to explain why she had done this. Another part of him, one that he had buried for years, felt an unexpected pull toward Lulu. She had been the one to bring him the truth. She had been the one to fight for what was right, even when it put her at risk. If Brooke Lynn had been willing to hide something this significant from him, could he really believe in their relationship? Would he ever be able to trust her again? And what did this mean for him and Lulu? As the week came to a close, tensions remained high, with no easy resolution in sight. Meanwhile, Lois received some reassuring news, though the details remained unclear. Was it about the adoption? Something connected to Brooke Lynn's situation? Or was it something entirely unrelated? Whatever it was, it came at a time when everything in their world seemed to be unraveling. With secrets exposed and emotions running high, one thing was certain: this was just the beginning of the fallout, and nothing would ever be the same again. Portia found herself backed into a corner, trapped by the consequences of a decision she had made months ago. At the time, she had acted purely out of desperation, altering Heather Weber's medical test results in an effort to protect Trina. The fear of what Heather might do, of what chaos she could unleash, had driven Portia to cross an ethical line she never thought she would. But now, what she had once justified as a necessary act of maternal instinct was coming back to haunt her in ways she never could have anticipated. Rick Lansing had always been a man with his own agenda, and his sudden return to Port Charles was anything but coincidental. She should have known that whatever involvement he had in this situation wasn't out of goodwill. He was the kind of man who knew how to spot weakness, how to exploit vulnerability, and most importantly, how to use someone's past mistakes against them. When he appeared before her, his expression unreadable, Portia felt her stomach twist with dread. The news he delivered wasn't just bad, it was potentially catastrophic. Her carefully constructed world was beginning to crumble, and the weight of it all was unbearable. With nowhere else to turn, Portia found herself confiding in Ava. It wasn't that she entirely trusted Ava, but at this moment, she needed someone who understood the stakes, someone who wouldn't judge her for the lengths she had gone to in order to protect her daughter. Ava, ever the strategist, listened intently, her mind already working through the possibilities. She knew Rick better than most and was well aware that if he had resurfaced with this kind of information, it meant he held all the power. His motivations weren't purely about exposing Portia, he wanted something, and Ava suspected that whatever it was, it wouldn't come cheap. As the pressure mounted, Portia made the difficult decision to reach out to Curtis. Their relationship had been strained for months, fractured by past betrayals and complicated emotions, but she needed him now more than ever. When she finally stood before him, her heart pounded with uncertainty. The words didn't come easily. How could she explain what she had done? How could she make him understand that everything, every lie, every desperate choice, had been done for Trina? She wasn't sure how much she could reveal, but she knew she had to try. Curtis listened in silence, his expression unreadable as Portia laid bare her fears. But unlike before, when he might have immediately come to her defense, there was hesitation in his response. The damage of the past still lingered between them, and his trust in her had already been tested too many times. He wanted to believe that she had acted with the best of intentions, but he also knew that deception, no matter the reason, always carried consequences. This was not a problem that could simply be wished away. If Rick had the power to expose what Portia had done, there was no telling what the fallout might be. Meanwhile, as the adults around her were caught in a web of secrets and lies, Trina remained blissfully unaware. She was focused on her upcoming birthday, eager to celebrate with the people she loved. For her, the day was meant to be filled with laughter, surprises, and warmth. She had no idea that beneath the surface, her mother was barely holding it together, trying to prevent her entire world from collapsing. But as the weekend approached, a sense of unease began to creep in. Something was coming, something unexpected. The details remained unclear, but one thing was certain: Trina's birthday would not be just another celebration. There was a storm brewing, and the question lingered: would this be a moment of joy, or the moment when everything unraveled? If Portia's secret was revealed on Trina's special day, the fallout could be devastating. The fragile trust that Portia had been trying to rebuild with her daughter could be shattered in an instant. Trina had already been through so much, and Portia had sworn she would never put her through that kind of pain again. But secrets had a way of surfacing, no matter how deeply buried they were. By the end of the week, Portia found herself standing on the edge of disaster. The walls were closing in, and time was running out. Would she be able to regain control of the situation before it was too late, or was she about to lose everything? One thing was certain, no matter how much she had tried to hide the past, the truth was coming for her, and this time, there was no escaping it. In Buenos Aires, Valentin Cassadine stood before Charlotte, his expression conflicted but resolute. This was a moment he had been dreading, yet he knew it was inevitable. Charlotte, still reeling from everything that had happened, looked at him with wide, tear-filled eyes, struggling to understand why her father was saying goodbye. For so long, she had relied on him as her protector, the one person who had always put her above everything else. Now, as she watched him prepare to leave, she felt an overwhelming sense of abandonment, as if a part of her world was crumbling before her eyes. Valentin had made his decision, though it had not come easily. There were things in motion that he could no longer control, forces at play that required him to step away, even if it meant hurting the one person he loved most. He placed a reassuring hand on Charlotte's shoulder, his voice calm but firm as he told her that she needed to stay strong. He promised that this wasn't forever, that one day they would see each other again, but deep down, even he wasn't sure if that was true. As he turned to walk away, Charlotte called out to him, her voice cracking with emotion. She wanted answers. She wanted to understand why he was doing this, why he was leaving her behind. But Valentin didn't look back. If he did, he knew he might lose his resolve. So he kept walking, disappearing into the unknown, leaving his daughter behind with nothing but the uncertainty of what would come next. Meanwhile, Jason and Anna sat in a car parked nearby, watching the scene unfold. Jason's eyes were sharp, scanning the surroundings for any sign of danger. Anna, however, was focused on something else. Something about this didn't feel right. She had known Valentin for years, and she understood the depths of his devotion to Charlotte. Walking away from her wasn't something he would do lightly. "This is too easy," she muttered under her breath, her instincts screaming that there was more at play than they could see. Jason, ever the pragmatist, didn't argue, but he kept his focus on the situation. He had learned long ago that when Anna had a gut feeling, she was rarely wrong. The question remained, what was really happening here? Had Valentin been forced into this goodbye, or was he orchestrating something behind the scenes? And if so, what was the real danger lurking beneath the surface? As the car idled, Anna and Jason exchanged a knowing look. Whatever was going on, this wasn't the end of the story. In fact, it was only the beginning. Stay tuned for the upcoming episodes of General Hospital, where the drama intensifies, secrets come to light, and characters are forced to make impossible choices. Valentin's emotional farewell to Charlotte is just the beginning. His sudden departure raises more questions than answers. Is he truly leaving for her safety, or is there a hidden danger forcing his hand? And with Anna and Jason sensing that something isn't right, will they uncover the truth before it's too late? Meanwhile, Brooklyn faces the fallout of her long-buried secret, as Lulu relentlessly pushes her to confess the truth to Dante. With tensions escalating, Brooklyn is running out of time and options. Will she come clean, or will Lulu take matters into her own hands and reveal everything herself? And if Dante discovers he has another child, will it shatter his trust in Brooklyn and bring him closer to Lulu once again? Portia is also at a breaking point, as her past mistakes threaten to destroy everything she has fought to protect. With Rick Lansing holding dangerous information over her head and Curtis questioning their relationship, she's caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty. As Trina's birthday approaches, an unexpected surprise looms. Will it be a joyous occasion, or will Portia's secret be exposed in the worst possible way? As the week unfolds, alliances will be tested, betrayals will come to light, and the stakes will be higher than ever. Nothing is as it seems in Port Charles, and every decision could change the course of the characters' lives forever. Don't miss a single moment of the action. Tune in to General Hospital to witness all the shocking twists and emotional turns that will leave you breathless. The best is yet to come, and the next episode could change everything.